it's that time again where we are doing another foundation wear test to see how good this foundation actually is, and I am super excited to do this one because this one is very different. So just to let you know, and all the footage you're going to see was filmed on Saturday and it is now Sunday, so the actual wear test took place on Saturday, but I put it on live, so I always like you to see how it actually applies at the beginning of this video, so you can see how thick it is, how thin it is, if it's watery, if it's not, and things like that. So I don't want to insert like a live clip on here because, you know, there's a lot of talking, so I've decided to reapply it again on Sunday. So it may go on to the skin a little differently than the previous day, but you know, it's around about the same. But if you do want to check that out, I will link that in the comment section so you can take a look at the Saturday's video and how it was applied on Saturday. But now I'm just going to kind of recreate it for Sunday, so the additional footage is all done the previous day. So the foundation we're talking about today is Dermacol foundation. Now Dermacol foundation is very different. It is for stage makeup, so it's not really for everyday use, and it's something that always falls apart on me. And when it falls apart, it is really, really bad. So I already said that on my live, that, you know, this is a good foundation to a certain extent, but it's not for long wearing. So we know it is going to fall apart. And normally when I do these foundation wear tests, we don't know whether or not something's going to fall apart. But I already know that it does. So that's what's a little bit different about this foundation review, because you may be thinking, well, why are you doing it then? As I spoke about it on a live recently, a lot of people did want to see how long it takes until it starts falling apart. So it comes in a little tube, and mine is quite old, so it's completely messed up. But you will see this on Amazon and it'll be just like a normal gold tube. And it is a very thick foundation. The coverage is the best foundation I've ever seen. You only need a very small amount to apply because it goes so far, and usually it starts to go really oily at some point in the day and you're very shiny, and it starts to become very heavy and I feel like my skin can't breathe. But I'm not quite sure how long in that happens, so that's why we're doing this wear test today. So what I did on my live is I put some moisturizer on first, and that acts as my primer. So I'm going to apply that and I'm going to let that settle and seep in, do its thing, and then once that's done I can start applying the foundation. Okay, so now that the moisturizer is in and it's been settled for a few minutes, we can now start applying the foundation. So this is a stage makeup, and we just want to see if we can actually manage to wear it for everyday normal use. Can we go to work with it and things like that? So this is the most full coverage foundation out there on the market as far as I'm aware, and it's the most full coverage I've definitely ever used. So for me, when I've used it in the past, it's not something I've been able to wear every day, but this is why I'm doing this wear test, to see if we can actually wear it for everyday things. So we need to see how long this foundation can last, and we can know then in what situations we can actually wear this foundation. So all you need is a very tiny amount because it spreads quite a lot. So check this out. just spreads all around my face really easily. As you can see, it is very full coverage just on those little amounts, because a little bit goes a really long way. This colour is personally a bit too yellowy for me, so in my next footage, what I'm wearing is actually powder, so I go in with the powder, and I also go in with some concealer so that it's nice and bright, and I just change the colour a little bit so I'm not too yellowy. So what I'm going to do now is just grab a damp beauty blender, and I'm going to pop it in some water, and we're going to go back over the face just to smooth things out a little bit, and it just makes it look a bit more flawless, and it brings a bit of a dewiness to it as well. Okay, so now we've got a gorgeous little glow. It's my new favourite thing to do. Any foundation it should work with. So far, when I've done this trick with the water and gone back over it with a sponge after a brush, with every foundation I've used so far, I've got this lovely dewy glow when I've done that, and it just looks a lot more smooth and a lot more natural. Obviously, we've got quite a heavy product on today, so you can't look completely natural with doing this technique, because we are full coverage foundation, but it does look a lot smoother by doing this little trick. So let's see, are we going to be able to wear this foundation every day? Can we get it to work for everyday use? So if you're curious, keep on watching, guys, and we'll see how it ends up throughout the day. Okay guys, so I'm all done with the makeup. I want it to be just completely concentrated on the foundation today, so I haven't put any eyeshadow and things on to distract you. We want all eyes on the face and how that looks, so I just kept it very, very basic so that we can just fully concentrate on the foundation. So it was completed at 11 o'clock, it's now 11:15, but we were completely done with the foundation and everything at 11 o'clock. So that's what we're going to take our starting point as, and I will check in about every 3 to 4 hours, maybe a bit longer, and see how this foundation is looking and how long it takes to get into this oily mess. So on first look in this natural lighting, I can spot a few problems with this foundation. When you're looking at me like this, I think it looks pretty. I think it looks quite flawless. I look lovely and glowy with that highlighter. But if you get close to me, you will notice a few problems. So it has gone into some fine lines and wrinkles on my forehead. Now they're not many, I'm only quite young, but I do have some lines come in, unfortunately, and it has seeped into those just very slightly. I don't think anyone else would notice it. I just notice it because it's what you do, you know, you notice all these little things on your face. So it has gone into some fine lines and wrinkles, and I have very dry skin at the moment, and it has clung onto those, unfortunately. So in here in the middle of my forehead, I don't know if you were going to be able to see, but it has clung onto this area. Now that could be the combination of the powder as well, because we put a lot of powder on today, because I know it goes to an oily mess. I did put a little bit more powder on than I usually would in that area to make sure that it stays on, but normally I wouldn't advise really to put powder in that area if you are very dry there. Normally I just do a slight dusting in this area so this doesn't happen, but I have sacrificed it a bit today just so that we can see if that helps at all with the oiliness. I have got a fringe, so that will cover it. And it has unfortunately clung a little bit in this area here where my dry skin is. So as I said, it's winter, my skin is probably the driest it's been in a really long time, so it is clinging in these areas, but I don't feel as though it's going to be really noticeable to other people unless you're like up nice, close and personal with me. I don't think you're really going to notice. It's not going to bother me, to be honest, because look, I think this looks really nice, to be honest. It looks really pretty, doesn't it? So it's not bothering me personally, but it may bother you. Unless someone's up close and personal in my face really looking for something, I don't think they'll see it. But when you do get close, you can see that I am quite dry, and the powder and the foundation combined has just unfortunately gone into there. You will need a pore filler because I feel like this foundation does accentuate your pores. So if you've got really open pores, then just put like a primer or a pore filler down so you have a base to cover it. But this is the starting point. We'll see how it goes. As I said, I know this goes into a very oily, cakey mess at a certain point. I just don't know how far in it actually goes to that. So hopefully we do get a few hours used to the point where we can wear it to like go out for dinner, shopping, or just something for a few hours, even if it's not like a full work shift or anything like that. I'm really hoping that this doesn't start falling apart within like the 2-hour mark. I'm pretty sure we get to at least 5 hours, I think. I hope that's not me being optimistic, but fingers crossed. I'll check in every few hours and we'll go from there and see how it's looking. So this is now 20 past 11, so this is how we're looking at 20 past 11. And we'll see how I look in a few hours time. Hi guys, so we are at the 5-hour mark, so almost 5-hour mark. It is 10 to 4 in the afternoon, and I said originally that I think this foundation holds up for about 5 hours. So when I initially picked up my mirror and didn't see this big shiny oily mess, I was like, oh my god, did we actually make it to 5 hours without the oily mess? Are we gonna get further? And I did get a bit excited, and at first I thought I was gonna come on and just report to you that we haven't actually had any changes, and I'd be quite surprised. But then I started to take some photos and I got my mirror and I looked a bit deeper, and it's fallen apart. Just as I thought it would at the 5-hour mark, it's just fallen apart in a completely different way than it ever has for me before. So I have combination skin, so sometimes I'm dry, sometimes I'm oily. Now the majority of the time I'm dry, and this is the way my skin has always been. So I feel like this foundation is quite thick, so I feel like with my dry skin that my skin tries to hydrate itself, and that's why I get oily at the 5-hour mark. But this time it hasn't happened. No oil, you can't see any shine, you can just see my highlighter. However, it has failed in a different way, and it has completely gripped onto my dry skin even more than earlier. So when I picked up my mirror, at first I thought it was just a slight difference. So what I've noticed is that under here it has started to crease under the eye. That could be due to the powder and the foundation together. And I've noticed that it started settling in to like my smile lines. A little bit started coming off on the nose area by my nostrils. And it started coming off a little bit on the chin, around the chin, because I feel like you can see those spots a bit more compared to earlier. So at first look, I thought, right, this is a few little issues. Don't really want to be having that at the 5-hour mark, but I know this foundation, so I know that it doesn't really hold up past the 5-hour mark. I knew that, but it's just surprised me in a different way, because normally I am the oily mess, as I said, but instead it has literally caked and dried onto my skin so bad. So when I started taking the photos and having a look properly, it shocked me at how bad I actually look. When I'm here on the video, I feel like this looks okay, but then I looked at the photos from earlier to see so I could compare. And earlier it looks quite smooth, I feel like I got a nice complexion, but when you see the photos next, I think you're going to be quite shocked. I am just a mess. I'm a cakey mess. I'm not an oily mess, shiny mess that I thought I was going to be. Now I'm just this big, flaky, horrible mess instead. So I don't think you will be able to see it on the video. As you get closer and closer, you can start seeing that it's completely gripped all over my skin. But hopefully on the photos that you see next, you will see just how bad it looks. I feel like I kind of look ill as well compared to earlier. I literally feel like it's made me look dull, and yeah, it's just a big flake ball. So you'll see what I mean now on the next photos. But I'll be back again in a few hours to see if that oil finally comes through or if it cakes even more. It's not feeling heavy like it usually would for me at the moment, but it is starting to feel a little bit more on the heavier side compared to earlier. Again, it's not heavy where it's irritating me where I need to get it off yet, but it is starting to change now and feel heavy. So I am kind of interested to see what happens next, if it continues to just flake and flake and flake, or if the oiliness is going to come out. But it's definitely not looking good at the 5-hour mark. Okay, so it's 5:30 now, so this foundation hasn't been on much longer than my last check-in, but I literally cannot keep this foundation on any longer. So I'm starting to get a bit more of a heavy feeling now. I'm starting to feel a bit uncomfortable. I feel a bit irritated. To be honest, all I want to do is get in my pajamas, take my makeup off, and I think I'm really gonna have to do some skincare tonight, put some lots of moisture in there to make sure that it's okay for tomorrow. I fear that if I keep this on any longer, then I'm gonna end up having a breakout, or I'm just not gonna be looking that nice, because I feel like this is hurting my dry skin and it's making it worse. So I just want to get this foundation off. We already know that it's a bit of a fail for the 5-hour mark, so there's not much point, I don't think, carrying on wearing it any further to see if it does eventually oil. So it hasn't oiled like I thought it would, and I'm not prepared to keep it on any longer than I need to. So I'm just having a look now at the benefits and the product description of this Dermacol foundation, so we can compare to what the product's claims are. So apparently it's waterproof, which I had no idea. I didn't know it was waterproof. It's for all skin types. I don't know if I agree with that due to my issues with the dry skin. SPF of 30 in there, which is good. And this is what it says. Oh, there's a long description here as to, you know, what we can expect from this product. So it says it's clinically tested and it's extreme covering. We know that. Makeup cover was created as the first of its kind in Europe and the first in the world. The license for this foundation was eventually sold to Hollywood. As I said, it is stage makeup. It contains 50% pigments, which makes it a weapon against skin imperfections. Dermacol makeup cover provides perfect coverage even in thin layers, and is the perfect corrector for dark under eye and pleasant spots and skin blemishes. So I will agree with that. I can see that it would definitely cover up those issues, and it says it covers up acne, it covered up my spots, lovely, loss of pigmentation, tattoos, etc. It may be used on the entire face or body for colour correction, darkening or lightening the skin tones and ensuring ideal balance. It is widely used as professional makeup for photo or film shoots, modelling and festive occasions. Then it just basically goes on about how to colour match your skin, and it says it provides outstanding coverage with a natural looking finish for your entire face and body. Your skin will be well balanced and have a velvety matte appearance, which is true. So it is definitely very high coverage, very full coverage, and I would 100% agree with that. Now it says on there that it's 4-stage makeup, so we don't even know you know, really how long people would actually wear this foundation for photo shoots or films, production, whatever it is. Is this something that's ongoing for many hours, or is this something that's only worn for 2 hours or so? So I'm not really sure, but I would say, obviously, I would not recommend this foundation for everyday use, which I've already really said, because we know that's not the purpose for it. So it definitely does. I would agree with those claims to a certain extent. I don't think it would be good for anyone with dry skin, but I'm wondering if my powder has made this worse. So it could be my results today are due to the foundation and the powder mixed together, but I can only go based on my experience right now. So if you've got dry skin, then obviously I would not recommend it. It was okay during the first couple of hours, but then after that, no, this is not a foundation for everyday use. So in that case, would I recommend this foundation? So it really does depend on what you want it for. No, I would not recommend it for everyday use. If you are somebody who likes to do makeup like me and do photo shoots, Instagram stuff, any other things, then this foundation is perfect for photos, I would say, because you know, you're probably not going to be wearing the foundation for a long period of time. So for example, this foundation I may even continue using for my lives if I'm not going anywhere afterwards, because it's going to look amazing for my photos to begin with. I'm not keeping it on for 5 hours, and that's kind of what the purpose is for this foundation. I think it's for Hollywood, it's for photos, it's for things like this. It's not for everyday purpose. So no, I would not recommend it to somebody who has dry skin because of my issues based on my experience, and I wouldn't recommend it for everyday use. However, if you are somebody who takes photos and likes it for Instagram or video editing and things like that, and you only want to wear it for a very limited time, then absolutely. You saw the coverage on this foundation, it looks amazing. It covered up my spots. It is like quite thick, as we're aware of, but because it's so thick, it goes on like so lovely. It spreads, a little bit goes a long way. So the foundation will last you a long time as well, because you only need a small amount. So this is a bit of a different foundation really compared to normal, as to if I can just say yes or no. So yeah, I would recommend it to certain people depending on what you want to use it for, but for everyday use, which is the majority of you guys, the majority of my viewers don't really do Instagram and things like that. But there are some of my viewers who do Instagram and, you know, may want to do photo shoots and stuff. So for photo shoots and stuff, there's only going to be brief and maybe only a couple of hours long. Then absolutely, it's going to do the job. It's going to cover the acne, cover tattoos and things like that. Not sure about the dry skin. If you've got dry skin, I wouldn't recommend it. But it was okay for the first couple of hours. So as long as you don't go, or maybe even 3 hours, as long as you don't go past that, then depending on what you want to use it for, then yes. If you've got mature skin and you are a bit older, I honestly cannot say what my opinion would be on that, because I don't have those deep fine lines and wrinkles, but they did settle in a little bit up here, and they are a bit more prominent now. So probably not. I probably wouldn't recommend it, but maybe for a photo shoot, if it's just a couple of hours, you may get away with it, but I'm not really sure. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed trying this foundation again. We haven't got that oiliness, so I use a lot less product than I did before. So I think if you do try it and you do get the oil that I have experienced in the past, it's because you've put too much on. That's what I'm thinking has happened, because that's always been my experience up until now. But I've had a completely different experience today. But the falling apart at the 5 hour mark is exactly what normally happens. So yeah, I think that's it, guys. So let me know, what did you think about this foundation? Would you wear it? Are you going to get it just so you can have a flawless base for like a couple of hours while you go out? Or you're just going to save your money? That's one thing I haven't looked at, is how much this foundation is. So I'll insert this when I edit here. But when I bought my foundation, when I first bought it, I bought it on Amazon for about £11–12. But I'll insert what it currently goes for, retails for, when I edit this video. So that's it, guys. Thanks you so much for watching. I'll insert some photos as well so you can see the end result. And I will see you all on my next foundation wear test. Bye, guys. Mwah. Okay, so it is day 2 wearing this foundation. I just filmed like the intro of this video, and I must be absolutely crazy because I'm actually thinking about keeping this foundation on again. So in the intro, I purposely didn't put powder and concealer and stuff over the top like I had in my wear test, just to see if it changes the results a little bit. So I think what I'm gonna do is wear this foundation completely bare for a few hours to see how different the results are, to see if that oiliness does start to happen. So it's now 12, oh sorry about the lighting, It is now 12:35 in the afternoon, and I'm going to keep it on for as long as I can, and I'm going to see if any changes happen. So far it's still clinging onto my dry patches just like it did before. So it's definitely not the powder that was causing that, it is the foundation. And I've noticed that this is just really clinging more onto like the bag under my eyes. I don't know if you can see that line all the time when I'm talking. The powder actually took that away. It wasn't as deep, so without the powder there, it's actually sinking into my dark circle a little bit there. So we'll see how it goes now. I'm not going to check in every few hours like I did before. I'm just going to wear it all day, and then I'll check in at the end and see if that oiliness came through without all that powder. And there we have it, 5 hours later. It is now 5 to 5, and this is the oily mess that I spoke about earlier. So we've got a completely different result without that powder. So I didn't realize how much that powder actually helped yesterday. And I don't know if you can see in the video, but all here is completely gone. It's gone. It's like 2 different colors. As you can see, that's quite yellowy because the foundation was the wrong shade. And then here, it's all gone. It's completely rubbed off, and I am really shiny. So I am just in my living room right now. I'm not even in front of my professional lighting, and you can see that light. You can just see that shininess all over my face, like everywhere. So guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this video, because my face has really been put through it. The past couple of days, I need to go wash my face. I need to go make sure that my skin is going to be okay for this week. But that's it, guys. If you did enjoy this video, comment down below. Let me know if you have this foundation and what results you get. And of course, if you don't mind, just please share my video. So thank you so much, guys. Look at this. I can't get over it. I knew it was going to go oily. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Bye.